So, my last video for the day, I want to discuss some minor things that are making news. Ryan Spooner's re-signed in Boston, $2.8 million for 1 year. It's an inoffensive deal. Spooner's going to remain in Boston for another year. I don't think he lasts throughout that year, but we'll see. Houston. So, somebody posted to my Hockey Guy Facebook page about Houston and the possibility of them getting an NHL team. It is mere speculation right now. I looked at the articles today. Again, I'm getting caught up on some stuff that I've fallen behind on. Now that personal drama has pretty much ceased, and the wedding stuff's all done and we're good. So what I'm left with is catching up, and the Houston thing I had to catch up on. So Houston Rockets owner says, all right, I'm selling the team, which means he's getting out of the lease for the Toyota Arena. The Toyota Center is big enough and suitable for NHL hockey. Now, of course, Seattle's been the focus of mine and probably the NHL's as well. But Key Arena needs to have some major upgrades and renovations to be ready for an NHL team. And there's a lot of speculation about whether or not Key Arena works, and they'd have to have a new arena. And Seattle's had a hard time getting a new arena for basketball, and they already know Seattle likes basketball. There's no guarantee that the hockey thing will necessarily fly there, especially if it's an expansion team. But Houston got pushed out of the American League in 2013 by this same owner, from what I was reading, who wasn't sharing a building, owned the lease, owned the building basically by owning that lease, and now he doesn't own it anymore. So realistically, I think the American Hockey League goes back there, but sure, in a perfect world, the Houston Aeros come back as an NHL team, and posthumously they can retire Gordie Howe's number and have some kind of a Marty Howe, Mark Howe thing happen, because it's easy to forget that Gordie Howe played in Houston. It's an interesting idea, but I don't know how excited the NHL is to play in Houston. Houston's a big market, and a Houston-Dallas rivalry would be insane on hockey level. And as a Dallas fan, I would love to see it. Whether it was San Antonio, Houston, Austin, I don't care which city in Texas gets one. 2 teams in Texas, I absolutely believe Texas can support. It's, and you could say, well, Dallas hasn't supported their team very well when they're not very good. That can be said about a lot of teams. That can be said about a lot of fan bases in a lot of cities. Not all fans are like Toronto fans. They don't all just buy tickets no matter how bad the team is. And of course, with Toronto, it's a matter of supply and demand. There are so many people that want to go see Toronto games that even if the team's absolutely awful and a season ticket holder says, I'm not paying to watch this anymore, there's a waiting list where somebody else is like, I'll watch it. Sure. Houston, and then there's the talk about, well, what if the Coyotes relocate? Could they relocate to Houston? I don't think so. I think the NHL has a very clear thought in mind about this, and if Seattle doesn't work, Houston absolutely makes sense. Houston absolutely makes sense. But I want to talk about something that doesn't make sense. So apparently Johnny Gaudreau in an interview was asked about how it would be to play for the Philadelphia Flyers. And he said, oh, that'd be sweet at some point in his career, which led to wild speculation that maybe Gaudreau wasn't loyal to Calgary. Are we really into that part of the offseason where anything a player says is going to be overanalyzed into the ground? Because seriously, I have seen so many players over the years that have said, oh yeah, I'd love to play for the Canucks. And then when they're a free agent, they don't come to Vancouver. Same with Toronto, Montreal. It's the home team. What's he going to say? Is he going to tell a reporter, oh, I'd hate to play for Philly. I spit on their flag every time I get the chance? He's making nice, and whether he means it or he doesn't mean it, it really doesn't matter. He's not going to Philly. He is signed long-term in Calgary. And I have no doubt the Calgary fans aren't worried about it. So, if any Calgary fan anywhere is worried about Johnny Hockey, I'd be very surprised. Again, this is what makes news in the offseason. Oh, quick. Pittsburgh's going to trade Kessel. No, they're not. Although apparently the Rangers might be moving out Nick Holden. It's coming from Larry Brooks, so it could be true. It could be him just being Larry Brooks and saying, I think this is going to happen. Saying that the Rangers are looking for another center, which is kind of weird. So I guess one of their centers moved to the wing, and I'm not sure what center they think is available. Are they looking for a 3 center? For a 4 center? I can't see them looking for a 1 or a 2 because I don't think any of those are available right now. The Rangers are one of those teams, and that's part of the reason why I haven't covered them yet. I read that rumor, and I'm like, I'm really glad I haven't covered the Rangers because I don't think the roster they have is the one they're going to have come October. There's a lot of things in New York that I'm interested to see how it's going to work out. I want to see if Lundqvist can hold off aging for another year. I want to see if Pavlich can actually be that backup goaltender. I want to see if their blue line has really improved and if it gels right away. Or if it takes a while for Shattenkirk to get used to his new teammates. There's a lot of things to be interested in with the Rangers. But adding another center is kind of weird. Because when Zibanejad gets signed for a lot of money, and I thought, wow, that seems like a lot for Zibanejad. And everybody said he's their number 1 center. Now with Derek Stepan sent out, he's the focal point, he's the guy. So all right, he to this point hasn't shown me that he's the guy in his career, but okay, I like Mika Zibanejad, so I want him to succeed, and I want people to be right. But if the Rangers are still looking for a center, where are they looking, and what are they getting, and what are they giving up? They just fixed their blue line. They're not moving out somebody off the blue line. Are they moving Grabner to get a centerman? Or like I'm trying to figure this out, and maybe if this move doesn't get made before I do the Rangers preview, I can figure out what maybe the Rangers are looking to get rid of, where they have excess players. But it seems like an odd time to say, oh well, we're going to look for a center. So I'm not sure that I buy that right now. I guess we'll see. It's been an interesting offseason so far, and I'd be interested to know what you guys think about it. And yeah, I mean, in terms of news, I think that's it. Okay, so there are a couple of things. One, Connor McDavid's talking about he's disappointed about the whole Olympics thing. The NHL players need to let it go because it's gone. The NHL has separated itself, and now we're looking at what's going to happen with the Olympics. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to do a video on that probably tomorrow on what's going to happen with Team Canada. Team Canada's got 2 rosters for what may be their Olympic team. They're looking at Doan and Iginla, for example, for the Olympics. And yes, that to me would be an interesting story, and that would be fun to watch. Because when you're seeing guys who've been told they can't play anymore, play in the Olympics, and win, that's a fantastic story. That's what movies are made about. And another piece of news was Johnny Oduya signing with Ottawa. I'm aware I didn't do a video mentioning it. It was a one-year, $1 million deal. It doesn't hurt anything. Again, I haven't done the Ottawa preview yet, but Oduya fits right in. It's added depth. It pushes some guys down, though, that I really thought Ottawa was going to put in the lineup. So either Oduya is going to play the number 7 role, or they're going to push somebody like potentially Clayson out of the lineup, which is weird because they had some guys come in and play defense for them in the playoffs that looked really good. And I thought Shabbat was coming in too. So it really means that they're loading up on depth, and I get it. During the regular season and the playoffs, a lot of defensemen tend to get hurt. As a Bruins fan, I get that, but it just seems like a weird move. Let me know what you guys think. There's some interesting stuff going on around hockey, and this is what that's for. Let me know what's interesting you. How do you feel about the Houston thing? Do you think it's going anywhere, or is this just one of those, like Kansas City turned out to be, or Cleveland at one point? Like, is this going somewhere? Are we going to see the NHL in Houston? Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. And you guys are awesome. I'll talk to you again tomorrow.